This is a clip from the Cannon podcast. To hear the full episode and get access to exclusive benefits, head over to patreon.com/thecannonpod and sign up for just £3 a month.
Right, well, keeping on the Arsenal forward department, it seems like Arsenal have one more position they want to add to in terms of that forward area. Right wing is what the reporters are saying. All the journalists are saying right winger. Mohamed Kudus is the player being linked right now. There's a few other links as well. In terms of a right wing signing, Alex, is there a standout name on the market? Is it a Moussa Diaby or that type of profile? A left-footed right winger, or is it something different that you want on the right hand side?
This is a really, really hard thing to judge for a number of reasons. Firstly, I don't know if everyone's seen, there's a clip of Mikel that goes around where he talks about the best players in the world, and he's referring to Saka in this moment when he talks about it. The best players in the world play 60, 70 games a season every 3 days, and they're knocking on the door saying, am I going to start? Am I going to start? So this idea that we're going to, sign Rafinha or something and he's going to get enough minutes and get enough time on the right-hand side is just rubbish. It's just wrong, because I don't think Arteta would ever do that to someone, especially who's just given a contract to. I don't think he sees that. So we have to find different ways of looking at the squad. We have to find different ways of approaching giving B some rest and taking him out of a certain amount of football. As much as he will want to play every single minute, there's going to have to be times where we do that. Now, I look around the squad and I see Reece Nelson. He's an inverter, mate. He's coming off the left and he's coming inside. Like there was a moment of separation. I can't remember who it was against now, but towards the end of the season, we were looking knackered. Nelson came on and just burst away from his man, had a shot, and it wasn't even that particularly close. But I just thought, yeah, this is the guy as a finisher to come on as he develops, on the left hand side. So I don't see him on the right hand side. Obviously, Martinelli's on the left, and then we're dealing with probably, false nine-y types, people who drift to the left, all that sort of stuff. There's no one really in our squad who is a shoe-in for that right-hand side. The options we have within the squad currently, I would say, are Smith Rowe on that far-hand side, though I would say he's better in that sort of inside lane. He could be someone who starts on the far-hand side and then drifts inside as part of the pod. White rotates, Ødegaard rotates out, and you could have some value from Smith Rowe there. It's an option. I'm not saying it's perfect. I also think Fabio Vieira could spend time out on that far-hand side. I think in that kind of Bernardo Silva-y type role where he's holding width on the right, when he's given more space, I think he could get some influence. There's an option there where Vieira could spend some time out there. But I actually think our best analogue and our closest to Saka in terms of his ability to roll contact, in terms of his ability to not necessarily 1v1, Saka's better, but in terms of, a sort of a goal threat, the energy, the pace, the receptions out wide, being able to follow the instructions, stay out wide, I'm going to say is Gabi Jesus. So then you're asking yourself a different question. Is it better for us to, let's say, keep Folarin Balogun? Because can Folarin Balogun be the guy who comes in for Jesus and as Jesus goes out wide? Or is it to sell Balogun, sell Nketiah, and buy that kind of lights out centre forward? Is that centre forward available who can be share minutes with Gabi at centre forward? Jesus comes on the right and he goes through the middle, and he could even go to the left at times. It's a question I don't have the answer to, but I think the one thing I will say is I don't see the answer being us signing a left-footed right-sided player. Also because of a player that we'll hopefully talk about is Amaro Kozia-Dubry, who I think it would be unfair to go and do that to that player, especially when currently his competition is Bukayo Saka. You can't put someone else in front of him. This kid's talented. Let's give him a chance, at least. Let's give him a chance. So for me, I start to think about it like you've got 60 to 70 games in a season from a superstar player there. You're not going to be able to sign someone of that quality. You have to start thinking about it differently, and then start thinking, is that an internal option that can go outside? Is that or is that something in the market? But I don't think signing a right-sided, left-footed player is gonna happen, especially because of Kozia-Dubry.
Mm-hmm. That being said, George, the links to Kudus are there, and they're from reliable sources, so we have to kind of take them as they are for now. In terms of the profile of Kudus, do you believe he could give something Arsenal, something different, or do you agree with Alex in the sense that we don't need the profile?
I struggle with Kudus and Havertz. That's the issue. Like, I loved Kudus as an option prior to Havertz being signed. And I saw a lot of benefits to a Kudus, because I think Kudus is a very different type of player. He's really punchy in the first 5 yards. He loves to quickly turn players, that half-turn ability to pin and roll players and burst is something that he carries. And of course, the bingo for listeners, central running power, is something I have to mention there. They're fun. They're exciting. I like the potential there. The one thing that I don't think that Kudos has as opposed to others for a winger position is that speed over longer distances and that 1v1 responsibility. Kudos is definitely somebody that can pin, roll, move, combine with players, but is he going to stand you up and beat you on the byline, take you on the outside and deliver a cross? No. Is he somebody that can latch on to a through ball and composedly finish? Sure, but I could insert Kai Havertz in that role as well. Like when you start talking about like the role of the winger, what can he do? Kudos makes sense when you're pairing him with an Emile Smith-Rowe type of midfielder, somebody that will offer a dynamic overlap on the outside, or a Ben White that will consistently bomb on. That makes sense to me, but then are you telling me that we're going to take away Martin Odegaard from that position, who can do that same role? Are you taking away Kai Havertz, who can do that same role? Fabio Vieira, who can do that same role? You get what I'm saying? Like I'm now naming 3 or 4 players that are starting to do that role, and I'm seeing redundancy. So I don't think that Kudos is necessarily the name. Do we do something in attack? I'm a big fan of Mario Cozier-Dewberry. Everybody knows. I can't wait to talk about him because I think the analog to Saka is closer to home than we think. And I think when you start to look at what are the viable minutes that you would want from a Saka replacement, by the way, is A, you want what, 400, 500 minutes, roughly? You're not asking for 2,000 minutes because Bukayo Saka's playing 2,500, 3,000 a minute. So where are the minutes coming from? And for me, is that 500 minute worth 45 million pounds? That's the question that you got to ask yourself. For me, no. Because I think I look at the potential of Mario Cozier-Dewberry, and he's ready for me. I think when you've looked at even cameos, the things that I think fans have seen, and by the way, have just been last year's international break, and I think it was, December, January, when he had an opportunity to play Lyon and Juventus. I think it was the first time fans got to see him. He is somebody that I think offers everything that we would like. He offers an insane 1v1 ability. He's somebody that, for me, is kind of a player that's a little bit more of a street footballer than Saka. I think Saka is incredibly efficient in the way he dribbles. He is this kind of really low center of gravity type of dribbler that, I don't think is flashy, but effective. And he knows when to push and when to go. Mario Cozier-Dewberry is a little bit more mazy. He has a little bit more trickery to his belt. And I think he's got that same ability to latch onto crosses and have an off-the-ball movement in there. And look, he is somebody that can roll contact, so he gives you a lot of the traits that you're looking for. I think a Kudos offers more midfield flexibility than he does winger flexibility. I think sometimes when we talk about versatility, we get a little bit too overzealous with that tag. I think Kudos, for me, can do the right wing role. But guys, we have many wing fielders in the squad. So do we need another? I don't know.
The report, Alex, claims that Arsenal wants a versatile forward. If it is a versatile forward, is there one name on the market that stands out to you, goes, yeah, I want that player?
No, to be honest. I know it would be more fun if I did, but no. I think the versatility...
That was a chance to say Mbappe. You
Sorry.
Say Mbappe.
Sorry. Go again, yeah. Yes, Bhavs. Mbappe.
Yep.
No, there's just... Yeah, done. I just think there's the versatility. The thing that I can't get out of my head today for some reason is this. We're moving towards, in my opinion, positionless, numberless football. Like we're going to a point where, and it's not to say no one will have a zone that they're best in. That's the point, actually. It's that you have a zone that you're best in, but you can rotate out of. You can come into. You can go. You can. The fullback can end up on the far hand side to rotate in. It's creating numerical superiorities, creating qualitative superiorities, isolating players. Basically, having the flexibility and the variability in your tactics to be able to answer any question. Because you basically have the quality to go, right, well, actually, this player can go into these zones and be comfortable and create that overload, for example, to target that poor fullback or something. So for example, in the game against like Wolves, like Hugo Bueno, I think is it, the left back, was absolutely destroyed. But it was because we created overloads elsewhere to get him isolated against Saka 1v1. So, in every single game, there's something. So I just think about the idea of like signing someone who is versatile is the only thing really that matters. And then you have to start thinking about versatility and go, okay, but what are we missing from our front line? And for me, it's goals, buddy. It's goals. Like we're relying on our two wingers. Centrally, we need goals. And that's why I keep looking forward and thinking about that summer 2024 signing, because that's what I think will happen. So personally, long-winded way of saying, I just can't see anything happening this window, to be honest. Maybe, but I just still think the remodeling of the attack isn't done yet. And I don't think we'll go in for anything really serious this window, because I think we're still looking forward to that summer when we do that investment.
Thanks for checking out the Cannon Podcast. To get full episodes and access to exclusive benefits, head over to patreon.com/thecannonpod and sign up for just £3 a month.